Welcome to the daily serving lesson today, brought to you by me, Chef Tom Heintz. We're still talking about the eggs this week. Here's our quote for the day. Oh, God above, if heaven has a taste, it must be an egg with butter and salt. And after the egg, is there anything in the world lovelier than fresh, warm bread and a mug of sweet golden tea? That's from Frank McCourt. It's from Angela's Ashes. Okay, so we're on eggs and breakfast, poached and boiled. We're going to talk about the ways they get prepared. One of the things I didn't talk about yesterday, and I think it is important that we talk about it, it's pasteurization. I'm not sure if you've heard of pasteurized eggs before, but they're actually out there. You can buy them that way. And one of the reasons for that, let's put it that way, the reasons is to avoid the salmonella bacteria. Now that's important because what that means when they talk about being pasteurized is they've been heated to a temperature of 140 degrees for 3.5 minutes. That's 60 degrees Celsius. This kills that bacteria that's so dangerous to many people. This is really important because there's a lot of people that are susceptible to illnesses. They have low immune systems. And in the food industry, you are especially encouraged that when you're making products up, you want to avoid raw eggs if there's any possible chance that somebody could be eating the eggs uncooked, such as in cookie dough. Now, do you know anybody that would ever eat raw cookie dough besides me? Well, when it looks like this, yeah, that's one of my problems. Poaching versus boiling. Most of us are familiar with boiled or hard-boiled eggs. You know, this is done with the shell intact. You put the whole egg into the water, in the boiling water. And it's great for using when you have a snack or a lunch item. In Germany, they are a very popular breakfast item. In fact, they're frequently soft-boiled. And that means that the interior yolk is still runny. And actually, this is my favorite. They have them like this. They put them in a little container and you tap the top there and you work your way down. It's kind of fun activity there. The process is done with water that's been heated to the boiling point, okay, which is 212 degrees. Now, the difference between a hard-boiled and the soft-boiled eggs is simply a matter of time. Soft are cooked for about 3 to 5 minutes, and hard are cooked from 12 to 15 minutes. Usually the best heat is just below that hard boil. It's called a simmer. It's where you see small bubbles instead of that hard rolling boil. You just got to turn the heat down just a little tiny bit there. Now, poaching is completely different. That involves controlling that temperature so it never reaches that boiling point. Remember, boiling is at 212. The temperature you're looking for is about 165 degrees. You can go up to 200, but that's about where you're looking. But that's 74 degrees Celsius. Kind of keep around that area. In fact, it's best to keep it at that because you don't want to overcook it, and that's a really good point where you don't have to be right on top of them when they're cooking. You can kind of let them go, and because you don't want them any higher than that. When poaching, you need to add a couple things to your water, though. And one of the things is you either add a couple teaspoons, or tablespoons actually, add a couple tablespoons of vinegar, or you can use lemon juice if you don't have the vinegar, or vice versa. And the other thing is to add some salt, because you're going to actually crack the eggs open. And you're going to drop these in one at a time and carefully allow them, as you ease those into the water. You can have more than one in the water, but you want to do it a little, give yourself a few seconds between each one so that they don't stick together. The whites will mix. And they cook for about 3 to 5 minutes, depending on how done you like to have them. Don't overcrowd your water. That means you don't want to have too many in there trying to cook at the same time, because each time you drop one in, your heat's going to go down a little bit, but you also don't want them to stick. And the nicer they look, so you don't drop them from a height. You just right on top of the water and drop them in. When they're done, you remove them with a slotted spoon to serve, okay? This is what they're going to look like when they come out. Of course, you add a little, you serve them right away, and that's great. But the cool thing is you don't have to worry about serving them right away. If you're going to you could actually pre-cook this. This is what we call par cooking sometimes. It's a restaurant trick. If you know you're going to have a large group of people that you're going to be serving at a certain time, well, a day ahead, you can get in there and you can poach all these eggs. And then what you do is you put them in ice water and refrigerate them up to a day. And when you're ready, Well, you just get your pan out and you put hot water in it, and it's not boiling. You have it nice and hot. You can drop those in for a few seconds, and they're back up to temperature, and you can serve them, and you look super cool to those guests. One of the things you got to make sure you do, though, is you don't want them ever sitting out in that what they consider the danger zone. You want to keep them in the safety zones. This means either cooked, when they're cooked, they're cooled below 40 degrees or above 145. Because this is where the bacteria really starts to grow, is when it's in that danger zone, which is 41 to 140 degrees basically. Now, this is what you're after when you start serving these things. And you got a little hollandaise sauce on top of that. Oh, it's a great, great breakfast. Well, I really appreciate you watching today. The daily serving, we're trying to put that out 5 days a week, and we'll pick one topic a week. Tell your friends so they can get their free subscriptions, and that's at the www.thedailyserving.com. Thanks again. This is Chef Tom. We'll see you tomorrow.